because of the trash. 4 them for these schools. There are plastic bags everywhere. No, if they can clean in the morning, and by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, it looks like they never cleaned it before. For me, we spoke about culture. The Honorable Minister spoke about culture. Many countries have tried to change the culture. Sometimes you cannot change the culture. The law has to be enforced for the culture to change. When there was a seatbelt law, when they sensitized people about road safety, people didn't care. When they started charging people 1,500 if you don't have your seatbelt on, everybody has their seatbelt on. I can assure you, if there's an enforcement, number one, it gives revenue to the police. A lot of money. Police is already charge 500 signing ballot. Police do support from government. They'll have enough money to run their affairs. Next. So the opportunities we see, research on developing this project document, like with most documents, the most difficult thing that we encountered, my team and I, was getting access to data. There's a very serious lack of data for anyone in Gambia. But that is the center of what we want to do for this project. We want to create data. We want to create data that is shareable and that is accessible to every single Gambian. We want to have data on what Banjul looks like, the homes, the residences, the businesses, the crime ratio, what's happening to crime, what's happening to gender-based violence. These things have to be accessible for people to understand what the project is trying to do. Second, community building. The mayor spoke about Banjul Demba. Fuck Banjul Demba Munyawat. Banjul has to be a community that is seen as a family. Man non lañ ma yare, moo tax ma bari auntie ak oncle yoo xam ne bokkuñ dara. Ku ma gis ñu ne ma sa oncle. I'll explain a short story. I used to have a little bit of a road rage when someone does something wrong on traffic. Te man dama foog ne officer la, so dama la di toppa. Pa ma gen mu ngi ngal boppam bi. Dama daan mer. So someone did a very bad entry on the main highway. This was years ago. Almost caused an accident. Ma toppa ko. Me too, overspeeding. So ma toppa ko bi traffic lights. Ma wàcce suma weer pour saaga ko de. Ni gis kenn si suma oncle yi la. Dama dem benn mu ne ma ni naa aga naa wax bi aga. Ma ne ko oncle baalal ma jéegal ma. But that's the Banjul we all grew up in. Everybody was related to everyone. You met someone, they'll tell you, man sali jaay la. You meet another person, and those things can come back. The more we work together, the more we involve the community in what we do, the more we bring back the family that Banjul has always been. Next, interagency collaboration. They did 5 minutes, Mapale. The next is interagency collaboration. This project cannot happen without the collaboration of all key stakeholders, including the GSM operators, the real estate companies, central government, the legislative, because like the minister said, laws that are not working have to be reviewed. And so that's why everyone is important for this. The last one is service integration. I have a feeling the Lord Mayor is not the only person thinking about safe cities. So we have to be prepared to integrate. I'm glad I see some ICT specialists in the house. Whatever solution we create would be a solution that could be integrable into a national grid and a national solution. We don't want silo development. On visiting some of the agencies during consultations, we realized you find the same project being done by 20 different agencies, 20 different institutions, all achieving minute results. So this project is not about silo development. It's about bringing the resources into one place, making it integrable to a national system, and that is the solution that we present. Buguma Minister Munyibi, Balama Pai. So what are the benefits of this project? First, the financial benefit. We want the council to gain revenue through waste management solutions. So we're not just looking for help. In 2 years, this project must be self-sustaining. How can it be self-sustaining? So the way we develop projects is to make sure donor contribution reduces as the years go by. Banjul, with waste management, should be able to sustain this project in 2.5. Waste is energy. That's the first thing. Waste, if managed properly, 𝒒𝒑𝒆, look at it makes the 𝒒𝒑𝒆. That's why they even steal taps. Now, right now, you do a public tap at Bijilo, you have to do a plastic public tap. If you do a metal one, 𝒒𝒑𝒆 𝒒𝒑𝒆, because they make money from the metal. Yeah. Happened to us 3-4 times. So how do we, instead of allowing the 𝒒𝒑𝒆, how does the council make use of material that is worn and no longer in use? That is something for another day. Secondly, increase city trade and business engagement. Third, boost the national economy. Because if trade increases and Banjul becomes the hub that it used to be, of course it affects every sphere of the economy. On the technical benefits, 1, improve data and access, 2, improve community engagement, and 3, increase local capacity. The other benefits, increase community morale, improve improve visitor or tourist confidence, and thirdly, improve quality of life. So now, Minister, I'll take quality of life to the first. Clean city, green city, crime-free city. Finally, I'll show you the modules which I know the business community would be interested in. How are we rolling out this project? So we've designed a unique, a first of its kind modular rollout project. Why is it modular? It's because the mayor, the client, has told us there is no money. So we're making it modular so that whatever a donor is interested in is the only thing that they will fund. We're not saying the project is $10 million or it's not going to happen. If we have $200,000, there's a mode within the project that can be funded. So nothing is waiting for something else. And that's how this project is designed. The first is the aesthetical, the look. 1, the Clean Up Banjul project, which we've discussed with the DPS and the Minister for Works. Banjul has to be clean. So from Mayor, it's okay. We'll discuss that in private. So there's a special Banjul project, and that's what Mayor is negotiating on the side. But the ministry has promised to support, from brooms to compactors to sweepers to rakes to uniforms to everything. Anything that is required to make the environment clean is part of our budget. The budget is not exhaustive. The second one is the Green Up Banjul project. There's already a project, Greening Up Banjul, but we needed this to be a part of the bigger project. So the plan is to plant a minimum of 2,000 trees along the coastline and within the city itself, and to also enhance the mangrove development around the mangrove settlements. The third one is the Light Up Banjul project, which is also specific to the ministry. Lit cities indirectly impact the rise or fall of crime. When we're flying down into Yundum, there should be this patch of land that is fully lit whenever a guest is coming. So the guest says, city. Play this small water, Hanga City. City be more than a taka funega. Banjul muge taka, muge kumase di taka. Why what na gina le? And that is what the Light Up Banjul project is. We want Banjul to be the most lit city in the sub-region. And we believe this can happen. Security has two aspects. First, manual community-centered reporting, that's on crime and gender-based violence, and that is very dear to the client's heart, getting the community involved. And the second part is automated surveillance and reporting. So having a central control unit with servers, surveillance cameras and access points, key locations. Banjul is the most important location in this country. It hosts the Central Bank of the Gambia, it hosts the State House, it hosts Quadrangle, it hosts the Immigration Department. There is no place in Gambia that is as strategic and as important as Banjul. And it is important that we give it the attention it deserves, security-wise. Next module is the environmental protection and management, which has two areas. First, coastline protection, and secondly, marine ecosystem protection. And the final module is the safe spaces module, which is to create a victim center for victims of gender-based violence, where they can be counseled, where they can be assisted. You find a lot of downtrodden women. I mean, I own a school, so I interact a lot with mothers, single mothers, different parents that come in. And you find women that lost their trajectory in life a long time ago because of gender-based violence. We minimize the effects of these, but they affect our girls grow up. So having a victim center to help those who are willing to seek for help will go a long way in bringing back confidence to a lot of our women in our society. The second one is creating child-friendly spaces and playgrounds within the city. The mayor herself has identified 3 locations that would be ideal, spread across the city, to create safe spaces for kids to play away from the drug menace that we're encountering in the country. I'll close by giving a few responses. We spoke about debris in the country, generally. I think the one industry that is booming in the Gambia currently is the construction industry. And I have seen time and time again, whether it's physical planning or the ministry, announce that people who break buildings, demolish, shouldn't throw the debris on the street. And when you bring in sand or stone or granite, you should take it inside. But I think enforcement is the problem. One of the biggest issues we have on our feeder roads is debris. People will break buildings and they'll throw it on the ground. Luckily, Banjul, St. Yoni, rafet nañ. So kenn du gis pax mu ne dafa jël block di ko fa def. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. So you'll find young, able gentlemen between the ages of 30 and 40. They won't get a job. They'll be waiting for the road to crack, and then they'll stand on the road. They'll break blocks and put it there and be waiting for you to give them some. It's destroying the road. I mean, any engineer worth their salt would see what that does. It's not the same material. The more you drive on top of it, the more it's creating a crack. Luckily, you don't have to end in Banjul. But debris is one thing that has to be a part of this project, debris collection. Banning of polythene containers and bags. I hope that is revisited. There are certain things that we cannot solve with this project without legislation. One of the things that I experienced living in Asia is, even in places where plastic exists, it's more expensive than recycled material. They make it more expensive so that people stop. While fi mbuus dafa yomba torop, lu nekk mbuus la, fo dem nga gis ñu sànni fa mbuus. The more we collect without recycling, like I said, the more we have problems of where to put it. I know the KMC has had that problem for decades, where do we put our trash? And I'm sure banks are encountering the same problem. Finally, the project has a very strong media and communications budget. With every project that I've developed, I've said, without a strong media and communication, it is not sustainable. People need to be educated, and they need to be educated over and over and over again. People forget, and they need reminders. So how do we sustain the project without people being reminded. So when we send the documents to the stakeholders, when we send the budget, scrutinize it, ask questions, provide solutions. I hope, like the Honorable Minister for Local Government suggested, we will have another engagement where your suggestions will be brought on board. Finally, I'd like to thank the client, Lord Mayor of Banjul, and her council, in us, a young consultancy firm. I've been trusted by a few people in this room, including the Honorable Minister of Tourism.
And you are worth trusting.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. For the trust in us, and I promise you, this is the beginning of a new future for the city. With the partners on board, with the stakeholders on board, I would love to come back to Banjul 5 years from now and say this was well worth it. Thank you very, very, very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Latri Corr. And